Well, hello there, miniature lovers on the internet. It's me, Dakian. Another Monday Miniatures Ramble, this time for Monday the 24th of September 2018. The last Ramble of September. How time flies. And here we are looking at a Orc Chieftain from the Reaper Bones line that I finished. Relatively quick paint job, mostly speed painting techniques. Looks a bit drab, but you know, orcs shouldn't look that colorful. Not much to say about him. The most interesting stuff is all the stuff tacked onto his shield. That's kind of cool looking, and he has a big axe, and he has some more armor than the other orcs. But otherwise, I tried to replicate the method I used for the skin tone. When I last painted a few months back, I painted a whole slew of orcs, if you'll remember. And so I tried to paint this guy the same. Let's see if I can compare him to this guy. I think it looks in the same vicinity, at least. Same sort of paint job, I think. It's been a bit of a slow week in that I've had a bunch of projects that were very intricate. But this guy is not everything I finished. Haha, fooled you there. Bit of a fake out. Be right back with some more. No, I also finished both of the Umber Hulks, actually. So my grand total of finished models this week is 3. Only 3. But, I mean, these were pretty detailed and time intensive to make. So that sort of explains it. I went a little bit back and forth with exactly what sort of tone of brown they should be. I mean, umber doesn't really tell you much. I sort of went for yellowish brown with a bit of a green tinge in the shadows to sort of not just make it brown shading, but some other colors in there as well. And on the basis, I experimented a little bit with trying to get some different tones in there, so I used a sponge to stipple on some different colors instead of my normal just dry brushing and washing. And because the bases are just plain rock and you need some color variation to make them seem a little bit different, and this one I actually added a few stray scraggly bits of brush or grass. I think it's still an issue that this one has its head down so much. I would have liked it tilted slightly more forward so you could see the face, but oh well. You just have to imagine that some hapless human is standing right beneath it in there, and it's heading to eat him up or something. So yeah, these were kind of arduous projects, and I've already mentioned the problems I had with assembly of this GeForce 9 model, but it all turned out okay in the end. So, moving on. On the painting table right now, we mostly have these the Savage Beauty box sets, the Amazons as I call them, where I've mostly done work on the bases and the metallics. Started on the hair. I've decided that one way to get around the issue of the loss of detail on the hair when I filed it down, the mole lines, is to make black hair, because you don't see as much detail on black hair. And in fact, I've decided to make it look like these girls all come from the same tribe. So I'm going to paint the same hair and the same skin tones on all of them. And I decided to go dark because I decided to use the same hair and skin tones combinations that this model has on the DVD from Marika, the Thief of Hearts. And she goes with very dark skin there, dark brown. It's partly to save time, partly to motivate me to get some work done on this figure as well. So 2 birds with 1 stone. I've already started a little bit on this wizard. Painted his beard. The face is almost done. And I worked on the purple on the cloak, and I used the same purple as an accent color on the hat band. The hat and the shoulder portion of the cape I've just base coated in black. I will bring that up slightly with some highlights, but very subtle highlights. I want to keep it almost black. And then I've just randomly put down some different browns that I had on the palette, just to see what it looked like. I'll probably paint over a lot of that. Yeah. And by the way, the purple isn't called purple, it's called Oxford blue. This is the base tone for the cloak. Yeah, not much else to say. The only thing else I've got going on is the other 2 Darksword minis, the critters, but nothing new's happened there, so nothing to show you. And yeah, just moving on, I guess. And this week I have kind of a grab bag of stuff to show you. This is a box I got this week. It's an order I placed from a Danish retailer called King Games. So Denmark is very nearby, so it arrived rather quickly. And the main reason is that I continue to try to pick up the rest of these HD Master Series paints. Here we have some of them. We have the rosy pink, for example, and the spruce green and rich indigo. So yeah, almost done with everything. Almost done with collecting all of that series. And I have the final few paints I'm lacking for my collection on order from somewhere else. It'll take a bit to arrive though. To fill out the order, I also decided I picked up a couple of more Bones figures because why not? Here's the Temple Dragon, which is simply a medium-sized dragon, not large, not small, but kind of maybe young dragon, perched on a sort of stone column, which looks like it belongs in a temple, maybe, because it looks like it, well, it's perched on a statue of maybe a deity or a saint or something. It's a cool figure. I'm still trying to decide which kind of dragon I'll paint it as. I also picked up the Dracolisk, which is an unusual monster in D&D lore. It hasn't shown up a lot, but it is an official in the lore, sort of, and history of D&D, a monster. And then they seem to have thrown in some bonus stuff, like this small palette, because they noticed I bought some paints and miniatures, so they assumed I was a painter. And this little thing, which has a couple of dice, and I assume these glass beads are meant as agitators. I haven't really looked at them, so I don't know how well they would work. Feels more like plastic than glass, so it's not very heavy, but I suppose it could do the job. Yeah, anyway, I haven't talked yet about adding any more new minis to the cube because I have so much left to do. Well, I have a lot of figures, it seems, on my table, though, as I mentioned, I think I'll finish some of them quickly. But you know what? I'll prep the Dracolisk. I feel a tiny bit of inspiration coming on. I feel like I want to do some research Because this is a monster I haven't seen much in later supplements. I remember it from back in the old days, in the first edition AD&D, but I want to know what became of the Dracolisk, and I'll paint it at the same time. So, the end of another jam-packed episode. Hope you liked it. Show your like by clicking the right button, and maybe sharing the video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so, commenting what you liked especially about it, and I'll see you again in a week. New month, new minis, new ramblings. Till then, this is Dakian signing off.